Welcome back to Old Junk and a Dog. I got the Bego in the shop. Barely unpacked from Poverty Tour. Actually, not unpacked at all. Tools still lay on the floor, need to go in the box, that sort of thing. But we're getting ready to go ahead and start tearing into this big girl, which I came back up enough to get a good video of. We're going to do the not fun stuff first. I'm going to stick you up in here. I don't know if you guys can see, but this thing, the axle seal was leaking profusely the whole trip home. And I want to get in and do the not fun stuff first. I need to do brake lines, or brake hoses at least. And I want to inspect all the brakes for the next trip, just to make sure they're good to go, because we got four-wheel drums. And I want to make sure that it's safe to ride. That's a good sign. Water on the floor underneath the toilet drain. And I've never used that toilet, so that's not mine. But we're going to lift up the front of the Bego with the lift and put the back on jack stands, tear into the rear end, and do the not fun work first before we get into throwing that engine that's back there and that transmission is in there, and trying to get all the fun Cadillac 500 goodness put in this thing. Oh, seriously? Would you believe you have to lift the body up, not from the axle, to get the tires out? That's convenient on the side of the road. Let me see what I can do for that. I'm gonna pause this for a second. I love that setup right there. That's nice to know for when we're on the road that we need to have all that to change a tire. I don't know if you can see up in there, you see the black marks. That is all gear oil. This thing smells like a dead whale, so that's always a good sign. Guess get back to pull this tire off here. Yeah, I say we had a leak. It's all the way around. Oh, want to see something cool? That's the hose for the propane, which goes to basically nothing. That's always a good sign. I'm glad we haven't had that hooked up. And I've never torn apart one of these old Dodge rear ends, so I'm assuming we're going to take the axle out and find pieces underneath there to possibly take it apart. But yeah, she's wet. But good news is it looks like it all came out on this side as opposed to inside the brake. We'll find that out here in just a second. Okay, the nuts off. Now I recall there being a trick to these conical washers, and I'm pretty sure it's just hit with a hammer and they'll pop. One, two, three, 4, 5. Okay, well, 5, 4, keep smacking. Yeah, those are next. 6. 7 and 8. Wasn't too bad. Let's see what we got. Ew. That oil hasn't been changed in a minute. Oh, wish you guys had smell-o-vision. Smells so good. All right, well, continue on. Well, would surprise you know I don't have that size socket, so we are 2.5725. Yes, we're making a trip to Harbor Freight and see what they have for axle nut sockets. I could hammer and chisel that one out, but there's one behind us even further in. I feel like I'd rather buy a tool, so to Harbor Freight I go. Well, $90 later, I have socket, full set, everyone I'll ever need, and a whole bunch of brake clean, because I get the feeling that's going to be required spending on this one. See what we got. And Harbor Freight's gonna fit. It's nice and tight. And there should be a locking ring in here if that comes out. Nope. All right, well now I get up, go get our pick. Other nut. And with a little bit of luck, this will come right off. And we'll see what's behind door number 1 here. Oh yeah. The brakes must be working because there's a nice lip there. Alrighty, well. Again, excuse me while I get underneath this thing and try to back the brake adjusters off. Never mind, took more wiggling, popped out, dropped the bearing in the dirt, so that's always a good sign. But it's alright, it needs to be a major clean anyway. Oh, is this light? Yes, it is. Ooh. Well, good news is there's paint on the pads. The pads look clean. Bring that in here. This is why we're doing the inspection. I don't know if you can get behind the light here, but that wheel cylinder is leaking. That's no bueno for Poverty Tour, especially if we're going to be taking this thing in the mountains. So that means ordering parts, which means I might be stopped for the day, but that's the reason why you want to do these inspections. This is my technique for cleaning up wheel bearings. First you get yourself a salty snack, wipe it off the big chunks with a paper towel, then the rest of it with brake clean, and just give her a shake. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. A little inspection here. I don't see any damage on the bearings. I think these are quite reusable right here. Both of them look pretty dang good. You tell me, do you see anything that worry you too much about running on a 8,000 pound vehicle? I don't. Nice and clean. Moved up here to the front because I need to make a parts order. And thought I'd check these wheel cylinders, make sure I got the right ones coming. And we got dry and not dry. That's always a great sign. You know, that's what you want to see in a vehicle you just drove 1,500 miles. No problems at all. The good news is, drums look good. The bearings are fine. We'll just clean it up. New wheel cylinder and new wheel seals. Fresh packed grease. Again, we got really good shoes on both sides, so we're not going to change those. We're going to leave those absolutely alone. All right. I hate to see this though, because we got nice made in the USA wheel cylinders here. And here we are a few days later. I've got a few parts in, and I'm having an existential crisis about replacing this beautiful made in USA wheel cylinder with something that has no markings on it whatsoever. But I guess that's the process. We're going to pop these shoes off, or at least break them loose and tear into this thing. Swap out that wheel cylinder real quick. I've got a few new parts for the, as far as wheel seals and everything for the drum. Everything cleaned up. And this is where you're supposed to wear safety glasses, but we'll just make her work. Those, and maybe we'll get this loose enough that we can pull this off. Talking to myself, I'm sorry. Yeah, maybe we'll get this self adjuster off there. I'm sure you've never seen another YouTuber do drum brakes, so I'll bring you back in when there's something interesting happening. We're back in here. Got the new wheel cylinder in. Nothing really to report. This is an Arizona vehicle, so brake lines are awesome on it. Just come right off. The only thing is there's not much room between the spring and the drum housing here, so. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get these springs popped back on and get the brakes back together. First things first, these little dudes in here. Do it all in order here. So this goes on first. Maybe. Get it all lined up. Screw right down here to get enough slack. So I put my drum brakes all together with just a screwdriver there. Very few other tools needed. Screwdriver in there. See, I got my old broken one here. This is my old trusty. Pop it on one. And then you realize that you forgot something. And you forget your other tool, take it back off. Thought there was something missing. Yeah. Do it right because we did it twice. There, doesn't that work better? Okay, again with the springs. That's not supposed to be behind that. Oh, we're being talented today. Never done this before, so I'm on video screwing up. want to do this right or wrong until we do it right, I guess. Hook. Loop. And hole. Lift. Put this all the way to the back here. Hopefully it stays flat. There we go. That's what we want right there. Do the other spring. Hold everything tight. Snap it a few times. This is where my old broken screwdriver works, because I gotta get behind something like that. Give it a little snap. It'll go eventually. So I like these old Craftsman screwdrivers because they have some grip to them. What I've used for all my life doing this. So. All back together. I'll spare you the experience of the other side unless there's something interesting, I guess. Well, we're ready to put this thing back together here. We'll set this up right here. Move you back over here. And slide this on. You know, just take this 90-pound object, pick it up, toss it over here on my lap. It's been a few minutes with the pressure washer. And cleaned it up a little bit. Get on that bearing. Oh, look at that. It worked a lot easier than I thought. Almost. Hurry up, Brett. And we got our other bearing right here. Filled up with grease real quick. I like these little bearing presses. You can do it in your hand, but that takes minutes, whereas this took about 30 seconds. And we got a little extra here, so we'll go ahead and smear it in on the race. All set up. And now I'm gooped up again. Still do it in your hands a little bit anyway, don't you? All right. All right. Knock off enough where I can turn off the camera and look around for the washer. I thought there was a washer on this, but there might not be. It doesn't look like it. Got a witness mark on the bearing. Get these in, get them torqued. I know this is a full floater axle, and I did research that you are supposed to grease the bearings on this one, or at least that's what the general consensus is for the Spicer 60. It said that it will oil from the center or from the gear lube, but it's best to go ahead and make sure there's something there. So that's what we're doing. And it had grease in it before, and it made a big trip, so I'm going to trust that's the truth. Well, the Spicer 60, according to the Google time machine here, you torque it to 50 while spinning the hub. Make sure everything spins. Seat the bearings. Then bring it back a quarter turn. And that should be the proper wheel bearing spec for that. Then you put the lock ring on after you get the stupid nut off or socket off. Put this dude on wherever it goes. There's a notch. Lock ring in there. Hopefully that locks onto something. Does not. Got one bit one here. So. You ever have a tool in your hand and just wait? Excuse me. Nippex pliers. I highly recommend them. Round off. That's kind of weird. All right, put that in. Fine flat. Hammer down a couple of those pins. That's not gonna work. Okay, well, I think you put your axle nut on first. Take 2. Watch while a man struggles to put a nut on. Realizes he has it on backwards. And it works fine. So much grease. All right, now knock a couple of flanges down. Knock one down there, one down at the bottom, one call good. Just don't want that to spin around on you. And for the final step, 250 foot-pounds for this outer axle nut. My torque wrench goes up to 140. So where is my impact? That's right, we're just gonna run her on. I say 850 foot-pounds of torque, I'll do it. She's on there. Does she still spin? Yes, she does. Beautifully. All right. There we are. One side done, besides the axle. But I'm going to pull the diff cover before I put that in. Well, let's buzz the diff cover bolts off and see what we got behind door number 2 here. Not expecting anything good from what I could see from the trip when I was filling her up. Kind of expecting some mud. Tag here. What does the tag say? Oh, 410. I thought these were a little higher. 410 gears. Already got a flow here. Beautiful. It's better than I thought. Better than I thought. Let's see what we got there. Ooh, it stinks. Stinks. You know what? A lot better than I thought. Let this drain overnight. Put the new cover on with the new gasket I got here. Refill it. I don't think I'm going to do anything with it. So I was trying to pull apart the driver's side here, and I found another issue. And that's wheels. These are the correct Dodge wheels right here. You see you got beveled lug nut holes. You go in and out and have a little lip to them. Well, backed up to that, we have the newer style flat holes. And yeah, that's not right. That means that this wheel was never properly tightened down, because no matter what you do, there's a little lip on every one of these and there's a gap. So this wheel was never actually very tight, which is another thing that you love to see on a vehicle you just drove across the country. So I'm on the search for a few more wheels. I think I have a few leads on them, and been doing a little bit of painting on the wheels I do have. This is the spare, which has the right lug nuts. So if I can't come up with the right wheels, at least I can put this one and this one together on the rear, and they'll lock in like they're supposed to and be safe. On the fronts, the wheels were changed as well, but we have these little spacer plates which allow the lug nuts to lock in like they're supposed to. At least that's the way it is in theory. Whether or not I will use these wheels like this or not has yet to be seen, but if I can find the right ones, I think I'm going to put the right ones on the Bego. Okay, just finished putting on a couple of way too nice shocks for the old PovertyBego. Differential's been filled, and the hose I have taken off and then put back on because I have the wrong one. But that one flows freely, so we're going to let it run for a little while. Brakes have been rebuilt. Just kicking along here. Hey, I want to thank you guys for watching. We got new brakes, new, well, painted the wheels, new shocks, new hoses, and re-greased all the wheel bearings on this thing. So we should be good for a trip. I'm going to take it for a little test drive, make sure everything's good. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.
Dropped in a Cadillac 500, a roaring steel heart. Rolling down Route 66, feel the wind in my hair. Poverty tool, but we're rich in repair. Dreams patched with duct tape, held by screws. This old beast hums and she's carrying us through. Desert nights with stars like lanterns hung high, painted her panels blue as the morning sky. From Joplin to San